Buck fans, you thought because the season was over, it ain't. Look, the football season might be over, but the aftermath is not. We got a lot of football to talk about because, like the NFL, it's a 24-hour business, and that's what we're here to do, to deliver the business tonight. So stay tuned and let's chime in and let's talk about what needs to happen so this Bucs team can have a better season. Stay tuned, y'all.
That was awesome. That was fucking awesome.
That's right. It was fucking awesome this season, Buck fans. Tell me this wasn't this. Hey, we did. Look, a certain amount of people thought that the Bucs could be successful, but hell, man, look, it was a hell of a ride, and your Buccaneers were in the playoffs for a fourth consecutive year. This is the third straight year that we are the NFC South champions. We destroyed a Philadelphia Eagles team that was an NFC champions of last season. I don't care what nobody says, even if they imploded or not. The Bucs put the nail in the coffin. We sent Jason Kelce out. I wish it was the other Kelce that would be leaving, but hey, that's another argument for another day. But be proud of your Buccaneers, Buck fans. They did a hell of a job. And again, what's up, folks? AJ Turn up here in the house. And we got Slick, a.k.a. the British guy who's always flying on standby, will be here shortly. And again, let's get him an opportunity to get that intern coaching job for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Please check out It's About Bucking Time. Give Coach Slick an opportunity on my YouTube channel. It gives you all his accolades and why he would be a good fit, especially right now. It's open house right now. I know everybody. Look, we have a lot to talk about. It's been so much going on so fast. Canales is gone, man. Took that opportunity and he just got up out of here. It's just, look, he hit us with this right here.
Got him! Got him!
My man ran off with the damn bag right there and went to the Carolina Panthers, a rivalry team. First off, I would like to say congratulations to him for doing a hell of a job to help Baker this season and for doing a hell of a job to at least show what this offense can do, especially in the pass. So I wish you well. I wish him very well. But with that being said, I hope he lays a stinker in Carolina. I'm sorry. And it's going to be a real test. And it's not me being salty, but the issue that the thing is, if he can get that team at least 7 to 8 wins by next season, oh yeah. Hell, he might be get him over 9 wins. He's the coach of the year, hands down. It's going to be a little different, Canales. You won't have Mike Evans. You won't have Chris Godwin. You won't have Otten. You won't have Tristan Wirfs or Gedke. You don't have those pieces at your disposal now. And it's going to take a long time. And look, you have Bryce Young. Now, Bryce Young, I told people he was not going to come out on, like, people thought Bryce Young was going to be what CJ Stroud was. I don't know why. He was on the Panthers are a bad organization right now. So I don't understand it, but it is what it is at this point. Congratulations to Dave Canales. It is what it is. And look who it is, guys. Look, got the homie right here. It is Coach Slick in the house. What's up? How you doing?
Recovering from all this news, bro. Recovering from all this news.
I was just telling you. Look, you caught me at the right time. I was just talking about Canales. I congratulated him, but I wish him health, but not football wealth. It's going to be a different story without having Evans or Godwin or a Tristan Wirfs, Gedke, Otten, a Palmer at your disposal. He's
Mhm.
literally starting from ground zero.
Yeah, I'm just hoping the owner gives him a fair shake and gives him at least 2 years, because that's not something you can just turn around in a year. That's going to take some time.
I think he got a 6-year contract with them. They're going to have to give him not 2. They're going to have to give him 3.
I mean,
It's,
they're still paying the other coaches that they've had on that team, so
hey, the Bucs have done that before, so we can't laugh too much, right? Wink,
nope.
wink. So I don't know. I mean, I do think that he has his work cut out for him. Can you? If now, I would say this: if he gets this team to 7 wins next year, that's a hell of an improvement. If
Oh,
he,
I think if anything higher, if you get 6 plus, I think you look at that season as a B minus.
yeah, absolutely. I agree, and it's gonna. But he has his work cut out for him because this is gonna be the first time that he's in this position. Coaching and being a coordinator are 2 different animals. We all know that, and I'm sure you know that, Slick. Being a coach, that means you are the head. You run everything. You're in charge. Whatever happens is on your watch. So I hope he is ready for that. And you're with an organization at right now that's not kind of we got to be real. They're a shit hole right now. A
Yeah,
real, as other people would say, corporate people, they're in a real shitstorm right now. They're they're a dumpster fire. But I do think it's gonna be different. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Bryce Young, but I just think I was telling them, guys, Slick. I think people thought Bryce Young was gonna be what CJ Stroud was gonna be, and
I think they wouldn't have been that quick either. I mean, the CJ Stroud thing is really surprising that he was that good that quick.
yeah.
You didn't get that with Joe Burrow in his first year. You didn't get that with a lot of quarterbacks in their first year. It's a growing pain, especially on a franchise that didn't have a lot. They hit on a lot of draft picks. They had a couple of free agents, but they weren't known for any. That's why we underrated them. We underrated them because there was nothing on their team that you could turn around and go, well, they're good, they're good. There's no track record for none of them. But they came together. They got a good. They clearly have a good coach. Well, it looks like they got a good coach so far in DeMarco Ryans. I think the thing with the whole Dave Canales thing for me was for him, he's going to look at it. Was this a step too soon? Because this is your first year calling plays. I'm not saying he should have stayed at the Buccaneers because, if someone's telling you to go and chase a $3 million contract per year to what he was probably making as this is probably closer to $1 million, maybe 900 grand, maybe even less. You're looking at it. You got to take that because it's a triple payday. You've got to take it, but at the same time, it could derail your career quite quickly.
Absolutely. Raheem Morris would be a perfect example of that, of starting too soon. I think so. It's gonna be a testament for him because again, this is a very bad organization right now. I hope that
Who's their best players? Brian Burns is probably the only one I can mention.
Yeah, that's it. They don't have anybody. And again, with Canales, he started off with good offensive weapons. Even back in Seattle, you had a Metcalf you could
Yeah,
lean on.
Metcalf is like a poor man's Mike Evans.
Yes, you had, and that's the thing. When you don't
And
have,
I say that lightly because Metcalf is a very good.
no, he's good. He just doesn't have the fundamentals to put it together yet.
And he's still in that kind of bracket of being an extremely good. He's a starter in this league, right? And he's got himself a few 1,000-yard seasons, I believe. So he's no slouch.
Yeah, it's for him. He has to get it together where don't always rely on your physical attributes. You got to learn when to throw some fundamentals in there. That's why Mike Evans is good the way he is. He didn't always rely on being a jump ball guy. He's found ways to get himself acclimated to different routes, certain movements. But before we even go into the Bucs off season, we have to talk about this because this brought a lot of joy to my heart. I was really ecstatic for this. Detroit Lions asses that this was going to happen. Did I not say that? Did I not say this? Like we both said it's going to be hard. And I said this, Detroit fans, we're not there yet. And the person who killed it for you was CJ Gardner's stupid ass. Got way too cocky. Coach Slick and I have always said, until that clock hits 4-0, the game is not over. The game is not over.
If not,
What happened? He talked too much shit, and it really looks bad on him. The other Detroit guys, I'll say this: the worst Detroit player right now that I would not want to be on a team is Gardner. When he got stiff armed, when he was getting abused, and then you were running your mouth.
I
Slick.
think the problem is that's the Saints in him. He is such a Saints player; it's untrue. Like
Yeah.
you know that phrase. There's that phrase. You can take the boy. You can take the boy. In this case, you can take the guy out of New Orleans, but you cannot take the taints out of the fucking player, right?
Nope, you cannot. And he was just, but the thing is, a guy like him, he unfortunately he's the kind of player that thrives off shit talking, but he's the guy, if you play basketball, Slick, and you're playing 5-on-5, he's the sorriest person on the team, but the other four guys are superstars. So when they look good, he'll make one shot and say, see, yeah, I'm that guy. That's Gardner.
Yeah, and I've got no problem for someone shooting their shot when they've made a play. It's the stuff, the jibber jabber in between. I'm not a big fan of that myself. I'm just not like if you've made a play, like you've got an interception, like that's why I didn't have a problem with what he did with Baker, and throwing the ball was too far. That was the only bit is throwing the ball too far. But mouthing off after him saying, "Like, yeah, I picked you off" or whatever, that's absolutely fine. You're supposed to get in his head. You're supposed to piss him off.
Yeah.
Um,
No, yeah, but there's ways of doing things, and you have to have a resume of being that guy. Slick, you're
I
a coach.
think he's that guy then.
You can
That's the
talk
problem.
your shit. My only issue is when you are that guy, like I said, when you're the inconsistent person that's not on there and you can't back it up consistently, shut the hell up. Like you said, when he threw the ball at Baker, I was like, oh, okay, that's where we're going. Okay, you caught a fucking tip pass. You didn't. It ain't like he snagged the ball out of Baker's in the route. The ball bounced out of Mike Evans' hands. If anything, you should be thanking Evans for that. It wasn't bad play by Baker, but again, Detroit fans, this is why Detroit fans.
Let's go and let's do this because I think this is only fair to do this. I'm going to pull his stats up because I think this will give you the overview of what he is as an actual player, right? So this season in the regular, I don't know if he was injured. He only knocked up 17 tackles combined. So that's 16 tackles were solos.
Shit! Oh, he got only 2 more than Hamlin. I'm just. It wasn't that much.
It's nothing to write home about. So I think that's the problem is when you've got a player who talks so much trash but isn't like the starter. I'm just going to quickly have a look and see how many games he started this season. I mean, he literally is only in a couple of games.
Yeah, we know. Look, his name should be CJ Asner. CG Asner. But again, and guys, this is why we love Coach Slick. Coach Slick when Coach Slick's eyes look to the left, oh, you're about to get down there. He's like, hold on, wait a minute. You said what about me? Okay, hold on. Let me get that fucking stat sheet out. It's beautiful, but as we keep telling you, Detroit fans, this is what we were trying to explain. That Disney shit only got you but so far. It's a beautiful story. That was nice. But now, like Slick said last episode, which you guys got to check out on the Aftermath on 102.9 Game Broad Street South Radio. Oh, he said this. There are a lot of teams that have success and then they fucking take a nosedive afterwards. The Falcons are a perfect example, fellas and and ladies out there.
Panthers as well, Saints. They've all fell off the apple cart now.
Yes, it's literally hell, the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at them. The Buccaneers embarrassed them, and last year they were the team. People thought that the Philadelphia Eagles were going to be like a dynasty-like team after last season.
Come on, if someone said to you at the beginning of the season, and you weren't a Bucs fan, you were just a football fan, and someone asked you who's going to be in the NFC Championship, you would have said San Francisco versus the Eagles.
Absolutely.
That would have been the pick. The hot take would be maybe Dallas creeps there, but I didn't see it myself because they would have lost somewhere in the playoffs.
90% of people thought we were going to see another Eagles 49ers NFC title because from on paper it just looked like
And the beginning of their season was really good. They just got worse and worse.
That's right.
And then when they imploded, and it'd be interesting to see what went wrong, because obviously they do exit interviews. The GM's going to sit down with them. What went wrong?
So a lot of things went wrong, but that's the issue. Personnel changes, identity changes, players get figured out. That's another thing. We've always said this. Like, there's a lot of times where adjustments happen. The way that Slick and I are talking, can you imagine people with a lot more resources within organizations? They can look at players, they can look at what people do and pinpoint this is what's going to happen, guys. So that's why Detroit fans, I'm glad that you guys are finally out of the dark ages. That's a beautiful thing. But
Don't get cocky about it.
yeah, don't
Enjoy it. Just enjoy it. I mean, you got the video, the pictures of Eminem with his like this, and I'm like, come on, dude. You've sniffed the playoffs once since 1990 something, 91, and you're acting like you are the kings of the world right now, and it's like, nah, man. You do that at the end of the game.
You do that. They say that again, Slick.
At the end of the game.
You do that shit at the end of the game. You know why? You don't want to go through CJ Gardner's syndrome. That's what the fucking happened. And that's
what just things like that.
Yes. Well, I loved it because he looked dumb. He looked, and it makes you Detroit fans look dumb because you talked all that shit. And for all you know, you might not go next year. It's not guaranteed. Here's the thing: injuries happen too, Slick. Remember the Bucs after the Super Bowl? We got hit with the injury bug like no one's business. Our secondary was depleted. So, and we're not wishing that, but that's football, guys. Shit happens. And again, just enjoy it. I have never seen so fast again, but this is the media's fault too, though. Talking a lot of shit. The media and cannot protect you all the time when the game is on the line. San Francisco, they did one thing that I do love, Slick. They start jamming the fuck out of Amon-Ra. They were putting the brakes on him and they made Goff say, "No, you ain't gonna throw to Amon-Ra." Nobody else could catch. Laporta was getting shut down. And then, of course, the offense blew up. Purdy actually, I know this, people might laugh, Slick, but in a way, I'm going to say it anyway. Purdy played like Baker. Yeah. How you like that? Why do I say that? He was scrambling. He knew when to hit people at certain points. Purdy was playing Baker-esque football. And for all you people out there, if you don't know, Slick and I can pull up the stats. Over 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That sounds like a Pro Bowl to me. Oh, yeah. We just got called into the Pro Bowl with Tristan Wirfs. So, again, Detroit fans, Detroit fans, I got some pie. It's called humble pie. You got to eat that shit now. And it might not taste good going down, but again, cherish it. This is why Slick and Rick from Bucs Live, who you got to check out right now as well at 9, they tell you us fans, sometimes you got to cherish these moments because you never know when you'll get that shit back. Can you imagine Detroit Lions in 91 after that playoffs? Hey, we got a good thing coming. 30 years later. It's like, man, look, we done been through some presidents since the last time. So Detroit, just calm the fuck down. Now, I hope when you go into next season, if you do have a successful season, you just go, I'm happy, but it ain't done yet. Look, we Buck fans have had to tell our Buck fans, hey, chill out, y'all. I know we haven't done anything yet. We're going to take it all the way. Hold on. So I just had to get that off my chest, Slick, because it felt good. Detroit fans were so upset. I made the comments like, hey, look, Coach Slick, they lost themselves. And
I think they got off to the best start they possibly could, which is what makes it so bad. They're joining that kind of to lose an NFC Championship game.
It fucking hurts. In a way, Slick, this was their Super Bowl. And the reason why I say that, they wanted to beat San Fran so bad because they thought that they were on that echelon level. And that's why I was just saying, slow down. You're getting there. But Dan Campbell, his second half, in a way, Dan Campbell pulled a Todd Bowles. He was starting to he didn't know when to be aggressive and when not to be. And that's why
sometimes when you have an uber aggressive person, they don't know any better and they kind of need to be checked.
And they need to be checked. Like, slow your roll now, sir. We don't need this yet. And that's what happens. And
someone needs to turn around and say, are you sure?
Yes.
Pick
So
the points, keep that scoreboard ticking over. You come away with nothing, you come away with nothing. It's like you have the opportunity to get a jab that just bloodies the nose a little bit, but it's not going to be a knockout punch, but it's going to be that one that gets a little cut above the eye, that little eyebrow cut. The blood's going to run in, they're going to have to clean him up, and that blood's going to get running if you tap it a few more times, and then he's not going to see it, and then you're going to get that knockout shot. But no, he was like, I'm going for the knockout shot now.
Yep, Slick. When we are intern coaches or whatever in the Bucs place, if I get a little aggressive, you just say, now, AJ, like, how about we do this instead because we can do this, and the way I got this defense design, we're gonna get away with this. I'm gonna go. You know what? You got a point. And as you said, every coach needs that guy to say, you got to have two guys. The guys that go, I wouldn't do that if I was you, or hey, balls to the wall. Let's fucking go. Let's do this right now. You got to have your Arians and your Bowls on your side.
It's almost like understanding the momentum of the team. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's difficult to gauge sometimes because what you perceive as momentum is different because you've being on the sideline.
Yeah.
Like if points have been hard to come by, take the points. Yes. Living them down. Sometimes people get a little bit too greedy and they want to get it all in one. And I get it. I really do. I understand. But I think the problem with this is technically you are damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, because you know what really comes through is if it was successful or not.
Yes.
If it was successful, he's aggressive, he's great, he's awesome, and when it doesn't work, he's over aggressive and stupid. So it's all about the execution. It's all about the execution. Was he wrong for doing what he did? Not really. It's his philosophy. It's what he believes in. But then he's got to be mindful going forward. His thing to take away from coaching is, I need to learn whether I need to dial it back a bit, and I need my team to step up and tell me. Maybe they go on across the road. I'm going for. If you've got a back, especially if you've got a timeout in your back pocket, I'm going to go for it, guys. What does everyone think? And literally everyone's like, yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone says no. It's like, well, what do you want for that? You got to be quick.
Yeah.
Take the points. Take the 4 points. The scoreboard ticks.
Mm-hmm. And you got to assess what you have too. That's another issue. Dan Campbell didn't realize. I think he didn't understand. I think he didn't realize how much when the 49ers took out Amon-Ra and Laporta, they really had no one else to throw to, because you see those other guys, they were just dropping the ball. And personnel matters. When they take away your two big guys and you have nothing else, that hurts you, because now you have to depend on them, but you really can't. I tell people this. You think Goff wanted to throw to those guys? Goff wanted to throw to Laporta or Amon-Ra because he knew those guys would get it, but he had to take what the defense give. And unfortunately, those receivers came up short. That's football, ladies and gentlemen. It's a game of chess. Sometimes that one piece, that pawn can be strong, and then the other, that pawn can be gone. It's one or the other. And that's the way of football. And I love it though. And a lot of people are saying, I don't like this Super Bowl. I'm going to just say it like this. The Super Bowl will be a disaster if Kansas City wins. I am all for fucking San Fran. First of all, George Kittle is my favorite tight end. He's an actual tight end. Did you see how he just punked Hutchinson? That is a tight end, ladies and gentlemen, not Tyreek Hill. That's a slot receiver, as my man Slick says. Slick is not lying, y'all. First of all, Kelsey will never do no shit like that. And you know what? How we know? Slick has already told you guys this. He could have did it in the Super Bowl, but he didn't. And that's why Mahomes was getting put on his ass by the Bucs. Tight ends like George Kittle are your Gronks. That is, to me, a younger Gronk.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. Like, you can see that the league is starting to take shape, and Travis Kelce is like the epitome of what. But it's nice to see that there are older school tight ends that can do it all as well. Because I think being able to block in a game where you say you got a left tackle, your tackle's struggling, it gives you that little bit of stability, and then at the same time, you can then start playing with that. We used to see those Gronks on those block and releases, block and release, block and release, block and release, and it just opens up the game, because your read is, this motherfucker's coming at me. Oh, he's blocking me, yeah. And then someone else sees it. He's going directly at this linebacker, or he's going directly at this lineman. So the linebacker switches off, or the nickel switches off, because he's blocking. And then all of a sudden, pop.
Facts. And you just said it. When you are a dual threat, it can also frustrate a defense because now you don't know what to expect. Kelsey, to be honest, all you have to do for the 90% of the time, okay, if this I'm gonna have this linebacker chip him and I'll put a safety over him and we'll take him out of the game that way. With George, you cannot do that. George Kittle, it's like you said, pick your poison. And again, it also George also can help the run game. Like you said, oh, wow, we got a guy who can block. You know why? Gronk did it when we played against Washington during the Super Bowl run. When he took out Chase Young, he didn't need help, but that helped the Bucs run game so effective, we didn't have to rely on extra linemen to do their job. That is why, guys, we keep telling you, look, we're football fans as well, not just Buck fans. We love football. I don't care. Like, hey, if you have a, and people say, well, Kittle can't, he's not a catch receiving. Yes, he is. He just doesn't have a Mahomes-esque type of quarterback to throw him the ball like that. Like I tell people, Mahomes can throw the ball. If George Kittle had a Mahomes-esque quarterback, it would be over. But anywho, that's another story. Let's get back to the Bucs again. We just had to get that out of the way because Detroit fans, y'all was talking so much shit, and I literally played in my video "Lose Yourself" so many times. I think I played "Lose Yourself" all night, Slick. I played "Lose Yourself." Any Detroit song I was playing. I played "Purple Pills" by D12. Oh, I was playing. I listened to Royce the 5'9", which you got to listen to him, Slick. That motherfucker got bars. Royce the 5'9". That dude got bars. Listen to him. He's nice. But
you have to send me a message with the name and everything.
Oh, I got you. I'm going to send you some songs. But yes, back to Canales. Not only that Canales is gone, we lost a lot of opportunities to get certain people. Like people said, get Zach Robinson or your Todd Munkins, maybe. Personally, it's all going to depend, in my opinion, on if Baker or Evans. Those are your two big things that we are trying to figure out what's going to happen. And I think right now that's the waiting game. I don't think we're going to hear any big news from any of these guys or signings until after the Super Bowl. So, guys, Buck fans, you're going to have to wait until March. You think so, Slick?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think maybe you might hear something in like February. I think you might get a re-signing, just a quick re-signing just before free agency. But don't be surprised. I've just got to find out when the franchise tag thing is. Don't be surprised if the Buccaneers tag Baker, because you want to see another year, and now you're in a bit more uncertainty because you're going to have to hire a new OC. Maybe they stay in house, maybe they don't. We're going to have a look at a lot of different things here now.
Yeah, I agree. And the tag is what he gets 33 guaranteed, right?
I'd have to look it up. I think it'll be different this year, so I don't know if the estimations have come out.
No, take your time, guys. Look, this is why we love this. This is the man he gets on the stats real quick. But I agree with Slick, guys. Buck fans, we do want to see one more year out of Baker, and if anything, it's a win-win for us. If he does much better, he can say, hey, I did it this year.
36 million.
Oh yeah, see, at 36 million over 4 million from last year, I think he'll be all right. He'll take that because
you've got to take it because it's just too many more unknowns. We know we had a good season with us. We know that if you can find an OC that's why I think sometimes maybe the in-house might be a good idea, because they know what worked with him before. His QB coach knows what works and what doesn't work. So maybe it's time to give the QB coach a step up and go, it's time for you to be that guy.
I agree. And I do think at this point, this is the best deal he'll get at this point. There's no reason to go anywhere else when you have a stable team. You have a stable line that's only going to get better. You also, if you stay, Evans wants you back. So if Baker stays, now you have another year with Godwin and Evans. And you're right. I do think that
year 2 Trey Palmer as well.
Year 2 Trey Palmer, and then Otten, another year for Otten. And remember, he was throwing to Otten a lot in the playoffs, so that's his guy. Then you have Rachaad White. There's no reason to leave for anywhere else. Now, I know a lot of people were thinking, oh, well, Atlanta's not the best deal, because overall, the Bucs are still the best team, guys. Trust and believe. They don't have nobody else in the NFC South is Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. Don't tell me about Chris Olave. He's a 1,000-yard receiver, but that's it. That's it. He's nobody else is those guys. Now, I heard that Alex Van Pelt is being interviewed. He's had some success. He's been here before, but I just want somebody to come in, and I'm selfish. I want people to be. I want the offense to be good, slick, but I want a guy who's going to thrive in the fucking passing. I need a guy who wants to say this is a passing team, especially if Evans comes back. We have to get that passing game going. If you want to get a run going, you better draft a center in the draft, and he better be damn good.
I agree. I think that's where you got to go. It'd be interesting to see what they do. To be honest, they've really got to figure out what they want to do with the quarterback position, and then hopefully the OC kind of goes with it too. So I would say looking in house might be the best option, or going with somebody who's got at least scheme is similar to Dave Canales, is not too far away. In the sense of like they'll understand. But I think the in-house idea move might be pretty good. But if you retain that quarterbacks coach, then maybe he's going to be the one in this person's ear and this works with him, and they work closely together, and they become like a bit of a marriage between the OC and the quarterbacks coach, because this quarterbacks coach is going to know him pretty well. So my worry is that we end up changing a good chunk of the offensive staff from the passing game. So we know we've lost our wide receivers coach.
Yes, that sucked.
Which was surprising, because usually they go for the quarterbacks coach. So interesting. I don't know.
It's just, but for so many, it makes me feel good in a way though, because for so many people who were just really shitting on the Bucs, talking about like how the organization just we don't look good. How come everybody who's in the damn division came from Tampa? Raheem, Tampa. I mean, Canales, Tampa. Come on. The Buccaneers were a good organization, especially when Brady came in. A lot of good things opened the door for us. And this is why, for all the people, Buck fans out there thinking, well, man, the Bucs were out here just looking pitiful, and I don't know what we can do. You see, a lot of people are interested, especially after this season. Hey, what did this guy do to make Mike Evans be so much better after 30? Because remember, that's the curse year for a lot of wide receivers. It's all about, that's like you said. I do think, but I do hope Bowles this time understands. This time, you can't do the running game. You can't rely on that without having the personnel. So if let's say this, like if a coordinator does come in and say, hey, Bowles, I want to establish this run game because I really think that would help us since we were dead last 2 years straight. But this is what we got to do in this draft. We got to go out and get a guard and a center. We got to go out here and do this way. Then I'm all for it. Like, would you be mad if, let's say the Bucs, what if they got a great center in the first round?
I mean, I'm not too sure what centers are usually drafted in the second, to be honest. That's why I'm not too stressed about like going for center straight away. But you could do center or safety is my choice at the number one pick, and then whichever one's available in the second out of the two is again, and then a guard in the third maybe, because I'd want to spend money on a pass rusher.
Mm-hmm. Oh, me too. Now, did you? There's some news that Jensen said he's still, might have a little bit left in him, that he's trying to rehab himself. I do like that. I'm not banking on that. However,
out there, that's a long time in football years.
It is. It really is. One thing that I do think I would hope that he is doing while he's on the Bucs is giving that knowledge. To his knowledge, his input can help. But yes, I really do want the Bucs to understand that the passing is the future. You have too many guys, as you said. Palmer in his second year, I think if he continues, next year will be his breakout season. Next year will be something for him. So we got to keep this passing going. Otten, like you said, Otten at best could be above average, but I don't mind above average. An above average tight end can make things happen. So that's what I want from this new OC. I do want them to take their time, but Damn, what gets me though with the Canales thing, when do you think, in your opinion, that Bowles knew that, man, he's about to leave?
Um, I don't know. I think he probably. I mean, it all depends on their relationship. So he might be talking to him, might be giving him advice on how to prepare for the interview. You
Yeah,
hear about head coaches working like that. So I'm not entirely sure when, but I think they all have people who talk, and there's all these agents. There's a reason why this stuff gets leaked out before it actually before a contract gets signed. So people have sources inside the building. I wouldn't be surprised if people had sources in each other's buildings and what have you. So I think I think he probably found out around about when everyone else did, to be fair.
right. Like, hey, man, I'm about to
But he
be out.
might have felt like he had a good chance to get him based on talking to Dave Canales and Dave saying this is what the first interview was like, this was that what was like, and him going, you know what, that sounds like you might have that job, mate.
Agreed. I hear you. And so let's get back now. Let's just get to the players. I know a lot of people. I don't want to speculate too much on the OCs. We'll wait for that, but we still got to make sure that we sign back Mike Evans. That's a big piece. He's not going to the Pro Bowl because of because of his injury, but I also think more that he just was like, I ain't trying to deal with people asking questions. Are you coming back or not? If you had to be a GM right now, because this is the offseason where we have.
Also, it doesn't boost your stock any by being at the game. Just it's a bit of fun. He's done it. He's been there. He's done that. He's got the T-shirt. He's worn it a couple of times. I think
Yeah.
once you've been to like 4 Pro Bowls, the only time you're interested is if that's all you can achieve.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why you had one. I think it was 1 year where a load of quarterbacks, or literally every quarterback, just went no, 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 and it was like the backup of backup quarterbacks, and you had quarterbacks that had no shake should ever have been in that position to go to the Pro
Right.
Bowl.
Yeah.
They had to go that far down the apple. They had to go that far down the apple cart, and you're picking the 7th best quarterback in the NFC.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you had to be a GM and give a price right now for Mike Evans, like, are you giving him 3 years at least?
I'm giving him 2 fully guaranteed, and then the last one, not so much.
Optional?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the optional year. I don't know if they can lock in a thing as if he achieves so much that it would be locked in, but I don't know if they can do that in a contract. But the thing is with Mike Evans, I don't think you're ever going to get to a point where he drops off that badly that you're going to go, we got to move on.
Exactly.
Just think about it. And logically, you give him 3 years, yeah? And let's say 2's fully guaranteed and the other one's a quarter guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Or fully guaranteed, 3/4 guaranteed, half guaranteed. Okay? And let's say it's 16 million or something like that per year on average. If the first year he's terrible, and I mean he's going to have to be terrible, and it's not down to injury, it's down to just not being very good,
right?
Which I don't foresee happening. Then you're going to be like, oh, well, we'll see what he does in year 2. And then in year 3, you're going to move on from him anyway. So as long as you don't have a shed ton of money in that last year, then you can move on if you really, really want to.
Yeah.
But I think if he's going to be bad, it's going to be due to injury, and then you're just going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. But see, for me, that's why I want him to keep his spirits up, and I want him to know that we believe in him and we want you to stay. I want him to know that. I want him to feel like, okay, they want me to retire as a Buck. I give him 3 years, but as you said, it would be I'd give him more of a guarantee. Like if I said, okay, 3 years, give you between 50 to 60 million, 30 of it's guaranteed. If you can give him half of that, I think he'd stay.
Mm-hmm.
30, and I think between 50 to 60 is not being unreasonable. That's a good chunk, because now you got him locked in 3 years, like you said. Let's say if no injuries happen, but he still produces you 1,000-yard seasons. Now, then let's say the Bucs are in the right position where we've drafted so much, and on offense, that's why I think Palmer and Godwin will be. If you draft another receiver this year, you can have a stacked set where he's not always needed as much, and you can keep him fresh down the line. He might say in the 3rd year, hey guys, we're on to something. We still got I still got what it takes. I'll sign for cheaper now because we want to bring other people in. Because I still think if you sign him for 3 years, you're going to get 2 more great years from him.
Yeah,
And I say guaranteed. You still could get.
yeah, I think so too. I think
I'd say at least. I'd say the
he
third.
didn't look like he was slowing down last year.
Right. That's my thing with him. We don't want him to leave. We want him to feel. I want him to feel good because that will. I love Godwin as well, but I don't know if Godwin is ready to completely take on the full like pressure of being the number one guy. And again, Palmer is still figuring things out. If this was like Palmer's third or fourth year, and we know that he's going to continue to increase, I'd be I feel different. So I do think that Evans is a big priority on the offensive side, and of course Baker. And I think Baker. I think it's not going to take much to convince Baker because look at what he has. He has 2 great outside tackles. Do you want to risk going somewhere else? And like you said, starting all the way over a new OC, that's
I
bad.
think
But
Baker's the key to this. I honestly do. You tag Baker, I think everyone comes back. You don't have to worry massively about Christian Woods because he does have the 5th-year option that's already like guaranteed. So we'd like to get the deal done now, but you don't have to wait to get the deal done. Like it's not the end of the world if you don't get the deal done. It's just be ideal.
exactly, I agree. I agree on that. Now, of course, now we got to go to the defensive side, and we got to talk about him, man.
Yep.
54, Levante, man. If I truly think he might come back one more year just because we got in the playoffs and how well we did. I honestly think if we would have performed like we did against Dallas last year in the playoffs, I would say, yeah, he ain't gonna come back for that. But I think Levante might say, you know what? I see something here. What I give it one last shot. I think he has that mindset where he likes bowls. He knows that the defense, Yaya is on the rise. Antoine's in the backfield. Canty is gonna get better. Vita's still here.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say this, Levante, one more year, one more, because you know Bowles and Light are gonna knock this draft out when they get somebody. Just stay 1 year. You keep him here. You keep all the other guys.
And his play hasn't really gone down all of that much either. So he's still. I'd still say he's a top 5 linebacker in this league.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, hands down. If you got,
I think it's like we talk about Mike Evans and like when they start to decrease, it's going to be a decrease bit by bit by bit. No one goes from being 1,000-yard receiver and let's say 10 touchdowns, and then going for that to being a 200-yard receiver with 1 or 2 touchdowns. It's more likely going to be in the 800 mark. You can be about 4 touchdowns, and then you're going, okay, well, he's still productive. He's just not great.
Agreed. And I think, but that's where if they knock it out again in the draft, that also again and in free agency, if you get a good pass rusher, that helps Levante out so much where he's like, wow, I don't have to do as much. Now I just need to just play the fundamental leader and we can call it a day.
Pass the pass on to whoever's next.
Yes. And you know who's next. It's Antoine. It's Antoine's time. It's Antoine.
Pass on the baton of linebacker.
Oh yeah. Nah, I don't know. Savassier did not do. Look, Savassier did. We don't know.
He didn't advertise, did he?
No, that's a big ass question mark.
But it's the second year.
Yeah,
you can see a second year jump. You see it with players all the time. I'm not too worried about it. I do think that they could go out and I think they got Britt, and I think Britt's good, but I don't know if Britt can be the long term. I think Britt on his own. If you put Britt and Savassier Dennis together, I don't think it's a match made in heaven. I think it would because of Levante David.
Not at all. And for what we know, for the most part, Devin White is gone. And that actually might be a good thing, to be honest.
Save some cap space.
You save some cap
space. You're not going to spend it on him, are you?
Yeah, not only that, you might be able to bring somebody else in who might not be as explosive, but if at that point, I want to find somebody that can be a better pass coverage linebacker because that's what we need at this point. We need because let's say even if the pass rush can get a little better, but we need to make sure our linebackers can be good in pass coverage because Devin White was a liability, and that's what would hurt us a lot. Hell, when Britt did come in, like you said, he made it happen. He wasn't as explosive, and you didn't get the flashy plays all the time, but he did his job. He understood it. You know who Britt kind of reminds me of? Barrett Rude. You remember
Mm,
Barrett Rude? The
yep.
guy he wasn't the fastest, he wasn't the strongest, but he was fundamentally sound-minded and he got things done. So that's what I think. And of course, now on your GM hat, when it comes to Winfield, what are we signing him for?
Probably about 17.5 million a year. So I'd put that into a 4 to 5 year contract. Hopefully there's going to be a system where most of it's a signing bonus, so you don't have to pay him too much as a actual salary. That way you can guarantee getting some more pieces in, which I think most of the players are up front. Oh, you want to give me all my money now? Okay, yeah, I'll take that, no problem.
Right. I agree. I think, and it would be a hell of a steal if we got him like if he were to go 15 to 16. But you never know. The beautiful thing about being in Florida, you have to the point where you can use this as your advantage. Hey, fellas, no state tax. You're good to go. So your 65 million would run better than someone's 75 million in California or New York or DC. That's another
It
thing.
doesn't look flashy on paper.
It's not flashy on paper. And
Because
then
I mean, people will still talk about it because you just got to make him one of the top 5 safeties paid. That's
I
it.
I agree.
And
You pay.
I think 16 to 17 million puts him in that conversation.
I agree. I think you're onto something with that. But I don't sense Winfield trying to be like I want to break the bank and be the most biggest known guy. And that's what I do love about him. He's a sound-minded individual because we know Worf's at this point when his time comes, this is what Worf gonna do. He gonna take one of these buck hats and just do this. Look, I need all the checks in here. Like I get what I want. He gonna be like, you know what my weight is? Add 6 zeros to that. Because that's what he gonna need. That motherfucker about to be paid.
Yeah.
He's about to be paid. But overall, though, I do like the Bucs situation. I think we're a team. The way that Detroit thinks that they're gonna be from now on, you Detroit fans, this is what the Bucs are actually putting in the work. And mind you, we lost the GOAT. We didn't lose a step. We actually took a step ahead. So, Buck fans, this team ain't going nowhere. Don't worry. I know when Canales was gone, people were losing their heads. Slick, I was like, damn. But I just thought about it. I reflected and I reacted. I said, does this hurt? Yes. But at the same time, this might also help Baker because what if he gets another design to where it helps his knowledge of the game? Sometimes, sometimes that can help or hurt. And I think for Baker, because he has the hunger, it'll help him. But wait a minute, somebody else wants to get in on this action right here.
Oh yeah.
We gotta bring in the man. We got our own Bucks live right here, Rick Hughes. Come on down, Rick Hughes. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Hanging in there, my man. Just trying to help Buck fans. First of all, be
See the
happy
light.
with the season that they had, and the sky is not falling. We will find a way, and this actually could help us.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's not like the offense was amazing this year. It's not like we looked at the offense and said, oh my God, this is some awakening. I do think at first glance when I saw Harold Goodwin and whoever else it was today leaving, I forgot. My first thought was like, well, wait a minute, he's stealing the entire staff. And then it hit me. there's got to be some sort of a plan going on. I mean that if they were planning on keeping Thad Lewis, they'd be keeping the staff. Obviously, something's going on. They've got somebody they want to bring in who's going to want to bring in their own staff. So it just, to me, it makes sense that okay, everybody's leaving, but they I guess they have a plan.
I think they do, man.
It doesn't seem like them to completely not have a plan, but I'm not sure they had a plan last year at offensive coordinator, and
they did.
Well, I don't know that they had a plan because eventually they got to Canales.
It was reported in the broadcast though that this was the guy he wanted, but I don't know if that was just said for being said. You know
about Canales?
Yes, Canales. He wanted Canales.
If he wanted Canales, then explain to me why they interviewed 11 people before him.
Right.
I mean, they didn't.
You go for an interview process. You get as many candidates as you want. Have a look.
No, you go get the guy. If you want him, you go get him.
But you still have to interview him. They still have to impress. You can't go based off that he's a quarterbacks coach. He must have done something in the interview to impress them.
Yeah, you know what he did?
No. I have no doubt he impresses them in an interview, but understand they didn't get to him until Monken said no, and a lot of other people said no. Then they got
I get what you're saying, but let's face it, we don't actually know. I agree where you're coming from, because at the end of the day, we don't know that they maybe he was the last choice. Maybe he was the last chicken in the shop. It's not what they've reported. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying that's what they said in one of the broadcasts, that he really liked him, and that's what they wanted to go with this guy. There were other guys that they were looking at that they chose not to get.
They apparently offered the job to Monken, who turned it down.
Mm-hmm.
If they offered the job to Monken, Canales wasn't the guy they wanted, and Monken was like the third or fourth guy that they interviewed. Then they offered it to him. I mean, I get it that they may say things like, "Oh no, I wanted them all along." I can promise you this: whoever the Buccaneers draft at 26, they're going to say, "That's the guy we wanted all along."
I'm just saying you're going to look at it from both sides, because I'm not saying it's completely true, but when you go for an interview, when you do interviews, you have an idea of what you like, but you're still going down the interview process to see if there's anything else there.
Very few teams interview 11 or 12 people first.
I'm not saying they do. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he is the guy that they wanted. I'm just saying he might have been a top 4 choice, a top 3 choice. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm sort of just throwing out other thoughts. Like, I don't understand what the thought process would be if he's, third or fourth. Why would you interview that many people before him and not even
availability?
I mean, he was what? There were plenty of people.
Availability. Could have been skiing in Cancun with his wife. I don't know.
Look, Canales said this: "I like to run the ball," and both said, "What? I like to run ball. I like to run that ball. I'm running the ball." And then both like, "Tell me more." Oh shit!
Slick. I can't believe I'm saying these words. I tend to think AJ's probably closer to correct on this one.
I run the ball. What are we gonna do if it's 2nd and 36? We're gonna run that ball. We're gonna run the ball.
We need that first down.
Look, I have a feeling that Canales said whatever he both wanted to hear to get his foot in the door.
He is definitely the king of interviews right now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is the king of interviews. I think what happened is they got to a point where everybody was saying no. They're on the 11th or 12th interview, which is a weird thing. That's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going through a weird process now. I don't get it. It's just, I mean, you can't keep interviewing people and letting them go and then say the guy you end up with. Of course, they're going to say he's the guy we wanted all along. Whoever it is.
The optics. You're not going to say, this is the guy we kind of wanted.
I settled for him,
Yeah, they're not going to say that. They're going to say
the last person. She was there.
Right. Yeah. The one at the end of the girl at the end of the bar at the end
Yeah,
of the night,
exactly.
the last
Like, oh,
option.
the
I
lights
mean,
are on. It's time to go. But look, hey, for Munkin, I bet Munkin might be sitting back now, like, oh shit. After that debacle in Baltimore, he probably is like, man, I ain't have nobody else to throw. Paul Lamar didn't have nobody to throw to. I might go to Tampa. Baker,
yeah, they
Baker.
went an extra game. They went a game further than we did. So no, I don't think Todd Munkin's sitting there
Hey,
going,
no, that deep. They have a
"Oh, we
defense
missed
too.
out."
No,
Come on.
I'll say this: Baker's play will attract a lot more offensive coordinators to come, though. Like
But you
legit.
got to hire him, not just talk to him.
Oh yeah,
That's
hey, no,
the
I
thing.
get it.
What are they?
You also don't. You also technically don't have anything from Baker Mayfield yet. So you could hire a guy and they'd be like, so yeah, Baker Mayfield. We're not going down the Baker Mayfield route now. We're going to go with Kyle Trask. Oh, so you hired for what?
That would be some
You
shit.
just imagine that. You sit there going,
No,
yeah.
I don't want to imagine that. I would lose. Oh, I would be. Look,
Yeah.
I'd be like fire his ass before he even entered
And then
the door.
and in the broadcast they go, well, Kyle Trask was who we wanted all
That's
along.
who we wanted all along. Yeah, that's
Look, guys, don't get me started. Hey, look, if this happens, I will be calling both of you personally. If Trask goes somewhere else and throws like 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 6 picks, I will be calling.
no.
I might
I think
fly
he's
over
saying,
to
what if we
the
don't
sixth
get
pick.
Baker? What if we don't get Baker back? What if Baker signs somewhere else and we get
Oh,
Trask?
shit.
And then they say this was our plan all along.
Oh,
No,
God.
I think that's what he's saying. I think
Yeah.
there's probably truth to what Slick is saying in the sense that offensive coordinators are saying, you guys aren't set yet at offense. You don't know who your quarterback is.
You don't have the guy, so you can't
Right.
turn around. Well, we got Baker. You don't actually have Baker right now.
Yeah, but we were just saying this earlier. Rick, if Baker's smart, you stay with this team.
Okay, we're going to tag his ass.
It's on the rise. Tag him too.
Listen, man, if Baker's smart and some team throws him a boatload of money that's a ridiculous and overpay amount of. Look what the Giants did with Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
If somebody comes along and throws stupid money at Baker,
Yeah.
the smart thing for him to do is take it. Okay, I mean. Everybody, I heard this about Canales. Heard people saying, "Oh, that's such a horrible organization. What is he doing? This could
He's getting 4 paychecks in 1 year.
This could completely derail his career." I'm like, he just got a 6-year contract.
Yes.
The next 6 years of his career is locked down.
I bet you didn't sign a 6-year contract with us.
No, I mean,
And how much was the deal again, Rick? He got
$3 million a year or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
18 million. Oh, so he gonna be eating for a while. Good for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, no,
That's probably
and
3 of his paychecks from the Bucs in combined in 1 year.
he would not have that. He would listen. Here's the bottom line. They didn't have a choice. The Panthers didn't have a choice. The Panthers were in desperation mode. They were. Was Belichick looking at the Panthers and saying, "Yeah, that's where I want to go"? No, I'm sure they called
Still the offensive
Belichick.
weapons in
and they
Atlanta,
said-
and all I'm going to do is make their defense good.
I'm sure they called Bill Belichick and he said, "New number, who dis?"
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that wasn't gonna happen. Okay.
Hell no.
And Vrabel, no. Pete Carroll, no.
No.
Who are we gonna hire? Raheem probably wouldn't take the call. Nobody's taking the call. Well, we hire this guy, maybe he can get Canales. I mean, that's probably literally the way that it went was like a look. They probably called Dave Canales, and Dave Canales said, "No, man, you guys fire somebody every year." And they said, "We'll give you a 6-year contract."
Absolutely. Look,
they had to overreach.
And Rick is right. Look, he is right on that. The Panthers was the fine girl who got dumped, but she ain't got no job, no skills. And Canales is the sugar daddy, where it's like, hey, look, I need a place to stay. I'll do whatever you say, cook and clean. I just need somewhere to stay. And Canales said, all right, well, come on in. And she cleaning the Panthers about to clean his drawers, make his food, do whatever he says.
Yeah, I think it's more like Tepper is the sugar daddy, and Canales was the girl
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, you can do that.
okay.
Flip the verse was the bad chick where he's like, "Look, I'll pay for your company."
He
And
had
Canales
to.
basically said, "Look, I get 6 years,
Yeah.
and look, when I'm in the mood, if I am, don't touch me. You're not holding my hand in public. You praise me, but that's it. When I take Instagram pictures of the dinner, it's mine. But you still taking me to Dubai and
Yeah,
Rome.
and
You're
listen,
right. Canals is the bad chick, and Panthers are the sugar daddy. And look, he
yeah,
gonna
and
throw
for
some
Game
pics
On,
at you.
Game On's out there saying he's not locked down. That owner will fire him without blinking for a second. Right, but then he's got a 6-year contract.
Exactly, Rick.
He's going to get paid $3 million a year for 6
Right,
years, guaranteed.
right, whether he's coaching or not. Listen, I wish my boss would fire me and keep paying me. I mean,
Fact, Rick, people don't think, but you know what? People don't know the game like we do. They don't realize when he says guaranteed, that means whatever happens, they still have to pay him. I don't know why Buck fans don't know that. Do you know we had to do that shit with Dirk Cutter and Lovey Smith? And didn't we do that with
every
Dirk Cutter?
coach's contracts are always guaranteed.
Yeah. So I don't get why
You're
people
just lucky if you get rid of one when they're closer to the end than they are to the beginning of the contract.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So that's why I truly think that, like Rick is right. The Panthers were desperate. They had to get someone quick. To be quite honest, they couldn't wait. If they wait too long, their opportunities will be gone. If anything, though, I do think the Bucs are in better position. They're gonna be fine. Like I said, if Baker and Evans come back aboard, what OC is not gonna want to come down and say, "Hey, we got to get this right." They just got to ask. They just got to do this for
Means
both.
you're going to sign the OC before you sign the players.
And I want to KJH for life said, was Canales the only coach the Panthers interviewed? No, they interviewed Brian Johnson, Todd Monken, Mike McDonald, and Raheem Morris, and Chris Tabor, and they had discussed interviewing with Ben Johnson, but it didn't happen. But that didn't happen. Listen, I'm sure everybody was saying no to them. Okay, just like the Buccaneers last year were getting no's from everybody. Look, the bottom line, something. Look, we not only don't have an offensive coordinator, we don't have an offensive staff at this point. We've lost our entire staff.
That changes once you get an OC, though, because they'll bring their people as well.
But it didn't happen last year. You got an OC, but you had the staff. That's what I'm saying is different this year. Last year,
I think the thing is when you hire a quarterbacks coach to make them into an OC, they don't really have a staff underneath them that much.
right?
So it's difficult. Whereas if you're an OC, you have your entire offensive staff underneath you, so you can turn around and go, I'm going here as a head coach. Come and join me here as my OC, and you give them an upgrade or whatever.
If you can upgrade them, but if you're,
or you can offer them more money.
But you can't just get an OC from one organization, hire them from another organization. They bring their staff underneath them in the same position. Look, if you're the OC in Philadelphia, okay, you can't come here. You're not going to just become an OC here now and then bring your entire staff from Philadelphia with you.
Well, maybe not the entire staff, but there'll be a couple right. You can bring across, but
there's
not too many.
Somebody that they have in mind. I am guessing. Because they now keep in mind the rumor was Thad Lewis, the quarterback's coach, but they've let all the people go, and Thad Lewis doesn't have the experience as an OC. I mean, you're going to have somebody who's been coaching. Somebody who is experienced. You're going to have to bring in somebody who can put together a staff. That last year we hired somebody who couldn't put together a staff. Now he can. He just took ours. But I mean, what are we right now? We're in a different position. And to me, when you read the tea leaves, that tells me that perhaps the team wasn't happy with the offensive scheme last year. Perhaps the team was tired of not being able to successfully run the ball, or with the scheme in general. I don't know. But they've got to be thinking about bringing in someone who has some kind of pedigree, because they're going to have to be able to bring in a staff. Now, who's that guy? Who's out there? Well, there's really only one guy. Well, there's maybe two. Either Brian Johnson from Philadelphia or Van Pelt from who was in Cleveland. I don't know. Who else are you going to get? What are they going to get? Pete Carroll to be offensive coordinator? I mean, what the only thing that could be, the only weird thing that could be, and I'm being crazy and wacky and just, is if you bring somebody like, I don't know, somebody who could be your head coach in waiting, because Bowles said he's not going to coach for that much longer.
Yeah, he did.
So you can bring in somebody under the agreement, you're our next head coach in 2 years. Who's that going to be? Who's going to be willing to make that leap? I mean, I don't want to bring names out that are, because who knows what they're thinking, but who's going to be willing to sit for 2 years?
2 years isn't that long in football years, though, really.
Oh, sure it is. You're not going to bring in a Pete Carroll. You're not going to get somebody like that. He'll be dead in 2 years. He's already 140.
Yeah, but you bring in somebody. 2 years isn't the longest in the world to become a head coach.
No,
it's only 1 year shorter than Dave Canales.
Right. Now, just for fun, just because I love getting people all like flipped out, worked up, hyper. Here's something that'll get your comment section going. What if the Glazers made a phone call to John Gruden and said, "Hey, we're sorry, we were wrong."
Look.
I had to do that to you guys. Gotta go. Bye.
You're trolling at that point. Do you know how tightly what his email would be scrutinized? They'd be like, "Look,
he's going to New Orleans. They're talking about him going to New Orleans and get back into coaching."
They're talking. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, they're talking.
There's a guy who could put a staff together that would be top notch in a second. I am literally just trying.
I know, but Gruden is like literally.
I know. No, I'm literally next up. Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick. No, I'm kidding. I'm just
Gruden Riley.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up anybody controversial.
No. Look, I just think it's whoever comes in, they're going to have to determine what type of offense they're going to do. If they're going to be a passing offense or they're going to be a running offense, because as we saw, you might be onto something, Rick.
Did you just say either they're going to be a passing offense or they're going to be
or running.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that deep insight, AJ.
No. Here's what I mean by that. Canales was trying to be so balanced at first. It took away from the offense to be more successful. I told Slick earlier, I said there might be an actual OC that comes in here, Rick, and changes the whole shit and says, "Look, I do want to really run Bowles, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to get, first of all, in the draft, we're drafting some linemen, a center in the second, a guard in the third. We're going to draft a running back in the fourth. That's someone that's compatible to Rashad's White running style, and we're gonna really make this happen. We're gonna use the run to set up the pass, or somebody another guy can come in and say, "No, we have the season, we have the pass."
Want somebody that's going to, number one, keep Baker happy. Number two, listen. The reason Dave Canales got the job was him saying, "I want to run a balanced offense," is what won him the job. Okay, you're going to end the same guys doing the interviews. He's going to want a balanced offense. Those are the magic words that he's going to want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got someone for you, just for shits and giggles. Mike LaFleur.
You
know?
Yes, Mike LaFleur.
Could wait 2 years.
Chris
He'll only be 38 when it turns to 30, when it comes to his head coaching opportunity.
Christopher Cole said Tom Moore is on staff at the moment. Isn't Tom Moore the guy that's literally 94? Isn't Tom Moore 94 years old or something?
Probably. Look, we need
That's someone. Who I'm remembering.
We need someone who's going to be young and know where they're going to direction they want to take this team. Look, I don't care as long as a coach has a direction. He can be right or wrong. Slick, for me, Rick. As long as you don't say I don't know, we'll see. That is what's going to keep me from going, oh hell no, you ain't going to be this coach.
85. He's 85 years old.
85. I was close.
Good God. 85. Yeah, no.
Hey, that's prime to be president. Why can't he go ahead and be the head coach?
Lord. If that's the case, somebody call Marty Schottenheimer. Shit, that would be a coach that I wish that I could bring back. I loved his energy and his his mind. But no, honestly, but that's
Mike LaFleur, let's cripple the Rams. They lost their OC. Let's get rid of their offense. They lost their DC. Let's get the OC as well.
Hell yeah!
You can't just get an OC for an OC though. That's the thing.
So well, you could with the promise of a head coaching job.
No, you can't. I mean, literally, I don't believe that if somebody said, "Hey," if somebody came to the Bucs. And said, we'd like to interview Dave Canales for our offensive coordinator position. No, it has to be an elevated position. You can't.
Some of the positions that we've already read interviews for are already OCs.
What's that?
Some of the guys we've interviewed for the offensive.
Who? Ken Dorsey fired. Brian Johnson fired.
Okay, I'll give you the five.
The guys are all fired. They're all out of work. Those are the guys that we've interviewed.
So we want to hire someone who's been fired.
Yeah, well, you either have to hire somebody who's been fired, or you hire a
quarterback's coach, or
right. Those are your only options. That's literally your only options. Now, for everybody who says, "Oh, great, we're hiring somebody who's been fired," everybody's been fired.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's been fired.
Todd Bowles was fired. Bruce Arians was fired. I mean, everybody's been fired.
Again,
Dungy got fired. Bruce got fired.
Right, and it's a
misperception. Dave Canales has not been fired.
and you just got to always look at it like this too. You got to look at the circumstances. See, that's another thing, Rick. Some people don't realize. Well, these guys got fired because they could have been the end of their rope, and their scheme didn't work because they didn't have the personnel to do it anymore. So they got rid of them. Or sometimes it's just time for people to depart and go somewhere else. If Belichick didn't he get fired from the Browns?
Listen, guys. If
Dave Canales,
listen, if Dave Canales was all that, okay. If Dave Canales was all that, the Bucs could have very easily. Number one, the Bucs could have said, "Listen, you're going to be our head coach in waiting." They did not say that to him. Number two, you don't see any Seattle Seahawks going to the Panthers right now, and he was there for 13 years. Okay, you don't see anything happening there, and they just got rid of their coaching staff, so they're all looking for work. Okay, and they're not going there.
Have they announced head coaches yet?
No, they have not. Seattle and Washington have not announced who their head coaches are.
And I'm going to file an application for them, but I'm just saying, shit. I should have did it for Carolina.
I cannot figure out what they are thinking. I just, for the life of me, cannot figure out what they are thinking. I mean, unless it's we want to hire somebody from Kansas City or we want to hire somebody from San Francisco, they had better hurry. I mean,
I agree.
I guess you could go get Vrabel. I mean, Seattle right now, Pete Carroll looks nice. I mean, it's
yeah, no. But this sometimes though, diligence is best because you want to make sure you get the right guy, and you want to make sure again, it's all about direction. Where they're going to take
going somewhere now. All the good guys, you're that sounds great. Diligence is great. but you do end up with the fat girl at the end of the night at the bar. I mean,
Hey, but sometimes if big girl get in the gym and work with your program, that becomes a diamond in the rough.
that's what
Sometimes,
happened with Canales. But you want to count on that? Do you want to count on that?
hey, look, we are the Buccaneers. We always count on the odds. Right now it's been going our way, but no, sometimes, and I get it. New isn't always better, but either way. You just got to find somebody that knows what they want with this offense. I think that's the biggest thing. For all we know, what if someone comes and say, "Look, we're gonna really thrive on this passing, and we'll set up the run. Don't worry about what about the run, Bowles? We're gonna use the pass to set up the run this time, Bowles, and don't worry, I will get a center because again, it's about pieces. If I can get
about Jensen, by the way,
yeah, I heard about it, but again. He's 33. Now, if Jensen were to come back and be average, that would be him. Jensen being average is better than Hainsey, but I'm not betting on that because Slick said 2 years out of football, he's still got to go. He's still rehabbing. I'm at that point where I just want to cherish and appreciate what he's done for us in the past. Go get you a damn center in the second round. That's another thing. This draft, you had already said last year's draft was important. This year's draft is just as important because now we got to know where we're building. What are we building with? If we can get a strong center, your line is damn near complete at that point. If you can get another guard to help, that's going to do something for you. And again, if you keep Evans, Godwin is going to be, them two are going to be who they are. Palmer, he'll get better. Otten is going to get better. Man, we need it all. I want an OC that says we're going to use the pass of the run, and don't worry, Jason Light and I are we're all going to draft good players.
I don't think you're going to get that. I don't think Todd Bowles wants that. I think that's why you're not getting. They interviewed Dorsey. They interviewed all these guys that was their game. That's what they do.
I feel you.
We've been down that road. I mean, I don't know. We might end up with Eric Bieniemy. I mean, that might happen. I don't know who's going to come with him because the guy apparently
that wouldn't actually be a bad. That
makes a lot of enemies. How's he going to build a staff? I don't know.
Mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But also, I hear what you're saying about Bowles. But what if? And I know we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, so this is speculation. I'm just putting that out there. What if the Glazers say, "Hey, Bowles, I hear." Hey, look, you got to get with the program, Bowles. We got to no, seriously. Sometimes I think that is the issue. That was the issue that we were pissed about with Bowles during the season. Hey, man,
who was pissed? Not we.
I was pissed. I'm sorry. Yes, I was getting frustrated. I'm like, Canales, you're running when you know the interior line don't have it like that. When you got these wide receivers that are begging to throw the ball. I just think, honestly, if the Bucs, we are literally a center and a guard away from just being back to what we were in 2021, because I do think Baker will improve. I see it. Rick, like I said, ever since you told me about the Baker light and you reminded me of what he could bring to this offense, I just think that he's gonna get better no matter what. And I think he's hungrier. And this is a team now where, like you said, nobody believed in them, but now they're like, wow, you said it yourself. Give Bowles a chance. Bowles might knock it out the damn park. Bowles and Light might knock it out in the park again. Can you imagine? What if this happens, guys? What if we draft a safety that complements Winfield? Can you imagine that, Slick and Rick having two, like, basically – that would damn near be like having Earl Thomas and Chancellor.
Where are we going to draft everybody? I mean, you've got us drafting a center. You got us draft. I mean,
no, well, I'd say like Slick. I agree with this. You either get in the first round, you get either a safety, or if there is, in my opinion, and I know we said get a free agent edge rusher, Slick, but if there is somebody that
you're going to an elite edge rusher. Look, we don't know what they look like until they get here because look at Yaya Diaby, right?
Right.
But I don't think you see when you look at draft classes and you look at players, there's no one at 23 or wherever we pick where they go, fuck me, this guy's going to be elite in like 20 in a year's time. It's not what they do. That's where the top 10 is in. Top 10 is when you discuss that, right?
I agree.
Listen, draft trenches, trade down if you can, and just stockpile picks.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
But Jason Light, do your thing. I just don't question you. Do whatever you do.
The guys there.
I'm done questioning. Listen. I have no opinion on the draft. My opinion is whatever Jason Light does is fine. Okay, and I've got a long history to back up my opinion. Okay, so I'm whatever Jason Light decides. I might be mad, but it's going to turn out good. So
when's the last time he ever drafted besides Aguayo? Like it's like I would give him his drafting percentage to me. I'm still giving him an A-.
No, he drafted some guys. He drafted Hargraves, didn't he? He's drafted
considered to be the second best corner in the draft.
Right. But it wasn't Hargraves' ability that messed him up. It was this. He ain't have it here, and he didn't have it.
Still, you got to draft guys who have it together here.
Right. But at that point, I don't think Hargraves. I think Hargraves' rookie year, he was playing for something. I think under Cutter, he got too comfortable. So I'm gonna not just blame Hargraves, but Cutter was he ran a fucking circus, because when Chris Baker and them was in there bullshitting and Deshaun Jackson and them was acting a fool, I'm sitting here like, okay, Cutter lost the team, not because he wasn't a good coach, but he wasn't, but because he just didn't care. He let him run amok. So Jason,
I go down more like I think Dirk Carr could run a good scheme. I generally do. I think the issue was he was handcuffed to a not a very good quarterback, and I think the problem was he didn't have a defense. The problem was his best friend was his defensive coordinator, and he couldn't kick him up the rear end because at the end of the day, Mike Smith's defense was dog shit, and he couldn't control his guys.
And his defensive coordinator, who had been the head coach, if you recall, it was Mike Smith was the head coach in Atlanta. Cutter was the OC. Then it was the opposite here. And I think Mike Smith was just done coaching. I think he was cashing a check.
I agree. I agree.
And
you are 100% right.
I wanted to like because of what he'd done in the past with defenses. Right. He had done some good things with defense in the past, especially when he was at the Jags, when they went on those big runs when he was with the Jags. So I was kind of hoping we were going to get that come out of him, and it just it never.
Like Rick said, we got an employee that comes in that just punches in late and leaves early. Mike Smith was like, "All right, guys, I'm done with this shit."
He was very passive in interviews as well, like just like super chilled out, like
the way he would talk, yeah, guys, we can do this, and
it does kind of sound like Todd Bowles.
No,
everything.
Todd Bowles does the practice thing. We do this every day, every now and then. That couch is very nice, and we're gonna do just fine. Mike Smith always just did shit like this, where he just sounded like he just got finished rolling up a joint. So yes, Mike Smith was this. I would be like, Mike, shut the fuck up. And his white hair made me mad. I'm like, I don't know what it is about him. He just like
watch it on the white hair. Watch it.
Hey, look, mine is coming in too. But you are right though, Rick. I do think when it came to Mike Smith, you nailed it. He was just there for a check.
Yeah.
He didn't have the same fire. No. But that's why it is very important just to get the right guy. And you're right on this. The Cutter was great in passing, but he's another one. He couldn't draft running backs for shit. We haven't had a good run game since Doug. I pop mollies all day, Martin. We haven't. He should be called the muscle hamster. He should be called the Molly hamster, because that man. I'm just saying, we haven't had but again, yeah, you have to have personnel. We don't have the interior line yet, and that's why I do think this year's draft.
Honestly, I think we're only missing one guy, and here's the deal: if Jensen decides he's going to give it a shot, it's better for our salary cap as well. By the way, so they may give him another chance. They may say, "Get out there, let's try one more year, see what you can do." And I mean, he said, by the way, while he did say he's still rehabbing, he also said that he's able to do. He can do anything you'd need to in football right now.
If that's the case, if Jensen comes back and he like I said, an average Jensen,
Well,
I would be at peace.
that may be all we get. Okay, that may be all we get, and they may draft a center and have Jensen.
But
That
break
might-
dogs, because that's what you're going to get with him.
What's that?
That aggression, that's what we've been missing on that in the middle of that team. That nastiness, that will to go and fucking take it to a team. He doesn't need to be very good. He just needs, like as AJ said, he just needs to be average, but still bring the dogs and still bring the attitude, and it will fire everybody else up.
Yeah, I agree with that, and that's we may end up with him back. I mean, and if nothing else, they'll do the same thing with him and say, okay, you get him out there, you try, he can't do it anymore, so they just make him a coach. That may be what happened.
Oh, didn't I just say that, Slick, earlier? I said his knowledge of the game is I think he would really help. But no, you're right. I don't mind Jensen. I just for his sake, I guess for me, I really like him. I want him to stay healthy. And if he can come back and do it, Slick, I mean, Rick and Slick, that would be a fucking great thing for this offense, especially in the run.
Why? Because he's only going to be here a year, I think, and I think he'll be done. And learning behind him would be beneficial, especially if you get round guys.
That's what I'm wondering, if they're going to just give it a shot and see what happens.
Jensen
if it
alone
doesn't work, well, then they cut him. And
guys, Jensen alone, if he's average, the run game will jump up from 32nd to me to like 25th. Hey, it's a hell of look, it's a hell of a lot better than 32nd.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take look that 20.
It doesn't need to be a great running game. It just needs to be good in the right areas of the game, and we kind of had a little bit of that, because that's a statistical increment that you don't view.
The thing that drives me nuts, though, is literally the Arians' offensive coaching staff is now gone. Okay, it's gone. Okay, remember how Arians brought in all his offense guys and all his defense guys and everything.
Staff's available. He said it.
What's that?
He said my whole staff's available.
Yeah. Well, now the entire offensive staff is gone, and we got to rebuild an entire offensive staff.
Yeah.
Right now, this is going to be their first year. We're going through this again. You get ready for that. And if Baker's got to deal with another brand new staff, which Baker are we going to get? Do you sign Baker
and coach and
a 3-year contract? Yeah, I mean, do you sign Baker to a 3-year contract and then you bring in coaches that it doesn't work? Then what? I mean,
you franchise him, like he said, you franchise him.
You're not franchise tagging Baker. You're not doing it because of the money it would cost.
$33 million.
But you could end up paying. But you're going to end up paying him in the realms of that anyway every year.
No, here's the problem, because it's $33 million for this year, but it'd be $33 million for this year, and then all you can do is 40 at best the following year. Okay. And you're not going to put yourself in a position where you're paying Baker $40 million a year. You're not going to do that. Okay. You're going to sign him for 25. You're going to sign him for 25. You're going to franchise tag Winfield. You're going to sign Evans. You're going to sign Baker. You're going to sign Levante. Franchise tag Winfield. Mark my words. Write it down. Somebody write.
I'm writing this shit down. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm writing it down.
Because I don't believe they're going to be those numbers.
Okay, what's going to happen? They're going to get Baker. They're going to sign Baker probably around 25 to 30. They're going to sign Evans, and you're going to you'll probably get Levante back for a year. You're going to have to franchise tag Winfield, and you'll go from there. That's what I think is going to happen.
But do you want to? I don't know, man. Franchising Winfield, I wouldn't like that. You want him long term.
You want get him long term in a year when you have even more salary cap room. You'll be able to do it then.
I know, but with Baker, I want to see if he can do it one more year, and then we go down the line where okay, now if he says I want 30-something million a year,
I understand, but then it's going to be 40.
Seahawks are stuck with the Geno Smith. You get stuck with a guy. If you franchise him, you get to see another year, and if he's all that, I'll pay the extra money. I don't care because then I know I got my guy.
Did you write down what I said?
I did. I really did.
All right.
If they franchise, like that would be a hell of a
what
guess.
I think they're going to do, they're going to sign Baker, sign Evans. They'll sign who they need to sign, except for Winfield, who will get franchise tagged. Watch.
Well, wait. If they sign Evans,
first one will be Evans. First one to sign will be.
What do you think Evans is getting? I said 50 to 60. What do you think?
I don't know if it'll be 2 or 3 years. Probably 3 years. 20.
I said three.
Okay, about 20 a year.
20 a year. Okay, so you think he'll get that 60?
Yeah.
How much of it guaranteed?
Probably 2 years.
Shit, I would live. Man, if we could do that, 60 million something for him, I would live with it. 3 years.
I know. Watch, I may be totally wrong, but this is what I think is going to happen. And to San Gato, who says, "Sorry, Rick, but Baker is not going to sign for 25." That's a slap in the face for his performance. I believe he will sign for 25 because he has the. I said 25 to 30. By the way, I was pretty clear about that. I said 25. To 30.
I think it's be closer to 30.
Okay, yeah. I did say 25 to 30. It'll be in there somewhere. He may take a more friendly deal to stay where he's at because he loves where he's at. Because, I mean, I'm not saying it's right. I may be wrong on the numbers, okay? They're going to be able to create a lot more cap space by getting rid of some folks. Yep. Guys, I'm not sure – Jamel Dean or Carlton Davis, I think one of them, there's a good shot, is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I really think that's going to be the case. I think Zion McCollum is going to be the reason that one of them is gone, and that clears up a lot of space.
Well, didn't we just sign Jamel Dean to a 2-year deal or something?
Jamel Dean, he's going to have a lot more dead cap.
I think that Carlton Davis you can cut and not have the cap hit. I believe that's the case. I'm not positive about that. We'll have to check on those two things. But watch one of those two, there's a good shot will be gone. Shaq Barrett will be gone. Joe Tryon Stroyinka, I don't know what they're going to do with him. I don't know. I mean, that guy, whether he's just going to be a depth piece or not, I don't know. It depends on what he's up for.
I think they might keep Shaq for one more year, reconstruct his contract, maybe make him don't take as much hits. It's one of those things where if Carlton and like you said, if Carlton's gone, I won't be upset. But at the same time, like you said, I'm drafting a corner in this draft, so we can definitely,
dead cap is 20 million.
Who?
So his Carlton Davis. His dead cap is 14 million. His cap hit is 20 million.
Woo! So
for next year.
For next year.
What? And
so you can save 20 million.
Mm-hmm. If they get rid of him, they'll save 20.
Is that what you're saying?
I'd say they say 5.
Oh, 6. So 6, right?
The cap takes over the cap hit, right?
Okay. So if the dead cap takes over, there's a $6 million difference there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you look up Jamel Dean?
I thought we just re-signed him for
We may have, but we don't. But what do we sign him for? What's guaranteed? What's
that's true. He's got a lot to improve because he was hurt too damn much for my taste, and every time he got hurt,
Dean is a cap hit of 14 million. His dead cap is 18 million, so it's minuses. You don't get anything by cutting him. You lose money.
Okay. So there's your answer. It's Carlton Davis.
Carlton again,
Say
and if
$6
you look,
million. I mean, and I do think Shaq Barrett's gone. I think somebody's going to give him enough money to go somewhere else. I think the team's going to say thank you for your service. We have loved you. We are family. Come on back as soon as you're done. But
you might be on the. It could be that time, and there's no disrespect to him, but it is.
no.
It's getting to that time. That's why I do really hope. You know what, Rick, you might be on something in the first round. What if Jason Light works his magic and says, "To hell with that. I'm going to get 2 picks in the second and then 2 picks in the third."
I don't think he'll do it. It's what I wish he'd do. I don't think he'll do it.
You never know.
Loves his picks. He loves his picks. I don't think.
So for you, then Slick already said, and I both agree on safety or center. If for you, first round pick, where are you going? Who would you go with?
I would go. You can't have enough edge rushers. You can't have enough just pass rushers. Just stay in the trenches. As far as I'm concerned, the whole draft, stay in the trenches.
Stay in the trenches. I like it. I do think that we do need to find a real pass rusher. I agree with you 100%. I think this watching the playoff game against the Eagles, the Detroit Lions, shows you we need a pass rush. We definitely need a pass rush.
Yeah, but here's the thing. All of a sudden, Jason Light will draft some wide receiver and he'll be like, "What are you doing, man?" And then he'll turn out to, be phenomenal. So whatever.
No. One thing about Jason Light when it comes to wide receivers, he hits the home run all the damn time. Evans, enough said. Godwin, enough said. Oh, he hits.
What was his name? Johnson.
Tyler Johnson.
Yeah.
Tyler was all right. He just didn't fit in the program with the Brady.
He definitely didn't hit a home run on that.
No, Scotty was all right. What I mean is his drafting with receivers are not bad. Like you said, if he drafts a receiver, I'm gonna be like, oh, so Light knows what he's doing. Like you said, when it comes to, for the most part, when Light drafts somebody, I go, there's a reason, guys. There is a reason.
Who did we draft in the first round? Did we draft a tight end a few years ago or something?
Oh, O.J. Howard. Yes.
Yeah. Whoops. So
as a pick, he was considered a steal at the time.
Yeah. Oops.
Hey, it happens. Like I said, his worst was a while.
Devin White.
Devin White. That's not fair because Devin White played at a Pro Bowl caliber level
for a year.
Yeah. Hey,
when you draft somebody and everyone's saying that you've done well by drafting that person, right? Until they play and then they go, it wasn't that good. They drafted bust.
Right.
But and this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand is when you go and draft somebody, like we talk about Vernon Hargreaves, Vernon Hargreaves, but he was slated to be the second best corner in the draft. So it's a no-brainer, right? Because literally everybody all the big heads media was saying he is the second to third best corner, and we drafted him as the second. He just didn't pan out.
Listen, when you go back and you look at the first round year after year after year, and you start panning down the names, you won't know who half of them are. So, it's half the time you're going to fail. Okay.
Right. And that's why
whoever you draft, it's not going to work out.
Sometimes
and also, if the player decides to be a dumbass, that wasn't the team's fault. That was the player.
You can't
look at Chase Young. No, I'm just saying. Look at guys like Chase Young. They have the potential and abilities to do something.
By the way, I'm glad you brought him up.
They're benching his ass.
Yeah. If he ends up available,
you want him.
No, just listen to me. I would be fascinated to see what would happen when Todd Bowles gets a hold of him. I would be fascinated to see what happens when Todd Bowles gets a hold of that.
Won't he be a free agent this season? Well, they'll probably. Chase Young. If you could get him for cheap, but if you
playing out the skin right now, so I don't think that would be a problem.
Right, and I just wonder what Todd Bowles, because you hear the way defensive guys talk about him. I just wonder what would happen.
Lord only knows. I think
Come on, Brady. Give me Tom Brady. No, sorry.
No, Chase Young would if he plays if he has the right mindset in Tampa with Bowles, He'd be an animal. Can you imagine him in certain coverages and blitzing schemes? Shit,
I know this. I've always hated the Saints and I hate the Falcons, but this year I hate the Falcons and I hate the Panthers. I want to beat the crap out of the Panthers for poaching our
absolutely.
staff and poaching everybody. I'm sorry, Dave Canales. I do not blame you for taking that job. I hope you work for them for 6 months, lose your job, and get to collect for 6 years. Go be an offensive coordinator somewhere else. But I want to beat the crap out of the
Oh,
Panthers.
I hope so too. And here's the cherry on top. I just want him to put up 9 points against us each time we play him. 9 points each time he plays the Bucs, so they can go. You wanted him. They
wanted this. Yeah.
You wanted this. This guy put up 9 points, and he got Panthers moist. They were like, oh God, 9 points.
But he also got us into the playoffs. He also got us the division championship.
Oh, this is true, but I don't think he's gonna find a Mike Evans in the draft this year. I don't think the Panthers got so much shit. Look, put it this way, and they have no first rounds. So good job, coach. It's like, damn, Canales, you literally, man. But go ahead.
6 years, dude. I'm sure he's going. Yeah, this situation sucks, but
18 million in the bank.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like million in the bank. He's like this. Look, he might turn into a Mike Smith and just sell there and go, yeah, the best that we could, guys.
I don't see that being
pound
him.
the rock. Pound the rock.
I don't see that being him. I see him being very smart and ending up, worst case scenario, I see him ending up as a coordinator somewhere else.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then he's collecting for head coach and coordinator checks.
Oh, absolutely. I give him 2 years. I say this, Bryce Young, because Bryce Young is not the guy.
The longest anybody's hung around with Tepper.
Facts, and then I'll take my chances, but that's just me. But guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. But I wanted to ask y'all these final questions because I know it's getting late and we want everybody to do their thing. But I want to ask you this, Rick. I mean, just seriously, like, give me if you had to give the entire Bucs season a grade. Because we'll break that down. We're gonna do coaches and shit later, but as for the entire Bucs season, how do you grade it?
B+. B+. Maybe a B. Look, here's the thing: they lost some games they should not have lost.
Mm-hmm.
They won some games they probably shouldn't have won, and they ended up with. About where you would expect, about where you would hope for. So yeah, let's call it a B. Could have been an A. Man, it could have been an A. That close. But am I the only person I'm not really upset about Canales being gone. I'm more upset about all the other coaches being gone in the sense that that's where the continuity would have been for Baker. Not so much the coordinator.
Yeah. We've got the quarterbacks coach, if that helps.
Well, the quarterbacks coach, if you bring him up, this is the thing. That's the guy that we're talking about being the offensive coordinator, but the whole staff's gone.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's never been a coordinator before. Who's he going to hire?
All coaches have a network of people that they know and who they've been on staffs with. So
not new guys. That's why
they do. They've been on staff.
That's why Canales is poaching our staff, man. That's why it's happening. That's why if you hire, that's why the Panthers hired Frank Reich in the first place, because he had this deep network. But if you're a quarterbacks coach in Seattle, you don't have this deep network of these great guys that are coordinators and all this other stuff. You're the underling.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have to bring in somebody. This is what I'm saying. It's going to have to be somebody like Van Pelt. They're going to have to bring in somebody that can assemble a staff.
And bring stability. I agree. We need stability and we need order. I got you, Rick. You right. You look, and it will happen.
Van Pelt. God, I hope they've got to have some kind of a plan.
First of all, it's that last name, Van Pelt. Van Pelt is that shit. Look here. Have you ever seen Jumanji Slick? The first one, the only one, Robin Williams one.
Of course.
I need Van Pelt to be the coaching staff and get on the team and say, "You miserable cowards, get on the field and face me like a man." I need that. Look, that last name, he's got the Van Pelt. That is look, that's a pimp last name. My name's Van Pelt. Give me my money. I love it. Van Pelt. Yeah, but I would say this for me, be it like you said, I give the season a B because we had moments where we lost when we shouldn't have, but we also had moments where we dominated where I didn't expect it. Green Bay and Jags, that was the two best games of the season. Them shits, I just was sitting back. I damn near almost behaved like a Detroit Lions fan. We're gonna do everything. We're taking it all the way, bitches. But then I got back to reality after that Saint shit. But that's just me. How about you, Slick? Let's give.
I think a B plus is probably the best. Like, you could go an A minus if you really wanted, but I think at the end of the day, what they overcame, what we did with a genuine quarterback, offensive coordinator, and the cool plays before, salary cap issues. I think I think it was a very good season. Like Rick said, there were games that we probably should have won and would have walked away with probably should have walked away with an 11-win season. To be honest, probably walked away with that. I mean, an argument can be made for more, but I'm going to live in the real world and think 11 was probably where we were. But I think in the playoffs, we kind of lasted where we're supposed to have gone. I don't think we would have gone massively much further. Maybe we would have won the Detroit game. I just don't see us winning the NFC Championship game.
How nervous?
Never.
How much trouble are the Bucs in coaching-wise, staff-wise?
It depends on what you can get hold of.
They got 2 weeks. 2 weeks, to be quite honest. They need to have something by the Super Bowl or at least a few days after. So, Rick, I do agree. You got, in my opinion, you got 2 weeks.
I'm nervous.
You got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because if you assemble the right guys, Baker might say, "I'll stay." Because if you give him someone who's some shit, he might go, "Oh, I'll take my chances and make that money somewhere else." Evans will say, "Well, Baker's gone, I'm gone."
Yeah,
I agree. So 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks. Buccaneers, you're on notice. I said it myself. You're
on the clock. You're on the clock.
You're on the clock. But with that being said, fellas, I'm going to be out. Thank you again for bringing me on, guys. And it's always been a blast. You guys take care of yourself. And look, we got to talk after the Super Bowl because we got to talk about other teams too because it correlates with the Bucs. It makes me feel good at least that the team that beat us is in the Super Bowl. And Rick, the Detroit Lions fans.
The what?
The team that beat us is in the Super Bowl. It makes me feel good like the 49ers. The reason why I say that because
Detroit beat us twice.
No, Detroit. The second game, Detroit cheated us. I'm gonna say that. That shit. The social media and all. Look, Disney and them said we need Detroit to get there just so. Because I said it already. Go check out my stuff on YouTube, Rick. I said Detroit would lose. I said they're gonna lose. There's no. People said, "Oh, Detroit in the Super Bowl would be nice." No, the hell it would not. Don't nobody want to see dusty ass Detroit in the Super Bowl. No. And for Detroit fans, I want to remind you of this again because they were giving us things about the Bucs.
So why is it in 1 minute you're saying, "Oh, Disney wanted to be Detroit. That's why we got cheated. Disney wanted them," and then the next minute you're going, they weren't going to let the dusty ass Detroit.
No. Win. I said it. Look, I said the game felt scripted because of the momentum. I'm like, how is it that they 17 points and then this big ass swing? But then I did forget Detroit.
We've done that.
I know but no. This is what I said to myself. I said, well, wait a minute. Detroit does have a leaky ass defense. Then San Francisco started doing something that I stated that they always should do. Jam Amon-Ra. When they took put it this way, when Amon-Ra was neutralized in the second half, for the most part, that game was done. But no, Detroit Lions fans, again, you better cherish it because you got to have a guy like Rick in your organization saying, guys, cherish these moments because, again, Rick, you were probably like 19 and 91 when Detroit won. And 30 years later, we've been through presidents, we've been through plagues, we've been through.
19? You don't realize how old I am.
Nothing wrong. Look, I'm just trying to look. You're as young as you feel, man. Don't worry about it. You felt like you were 19 and 91. That's all that matters, right?
Okay, sure.
See, you gotta always look at things like that. But either way, though, for Detroit fans, just think about how long it took. The last time they won, we went through so many crises.
That's 25.
There you see. There you go.
I'm old.
Hey, man, look, nothing wrong with that either.
91, 6.
Yeah, I was 3. I was like 3. I was like 3. So put it this way, Detroit fans. Shit, I couldn't even. I had to. Look, Detroit fans. It's been a while. Just be humble next time. If you don't know what that means, I will go get you a Patty LaBelle pie, and I'm gonna write humble on that.
You remember that when we win, and remember the opposite of that when we lose. You be humble or you be gracious, win or lose.
I do. Look, trust me.
Slated when we won was the Saints and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, the Saints game. I felt that humility and grace coming off you after that Saints game.
Look, put it this way: the Chiefs game, I was going to talk shit regardless. First of all, they did not. They were too disrespectful. I had told people football logic 101. They don't have their tackles. And the Bucs have a pass rush. What did you think was going to happen? Mahomes is just going to do it by himself. What? So he's going to block, pass, and catch the ball? All right. That's the difference. When people start getting to that level of just disrespect and they're not even doing football, thinking they're just doing what social media tells them. Like, did you guys see that bullshit today when they were talking about Mahomes is better than Brady? And I just wanted to be like, okay.
Now, hold on. Let me say this. He's already been to what? This is the 6th Super Bowl, I think, or something like that.
I'm gonna let Slick handle this because all I'm gonna do is regurgitate what Slick says, but he says it so eloquently. But I want to just start off.
All I will tell you is this: no, Mahomes ain't Brady yet, but you got to give this man some credit. That's one hell of a start to a career. And
no one saw that coming. Let's face it. Nobody saw he was going to be this good.
Right, so it's going to be this good, but as Slick would always say, we got to wait to the end of the story. He's only in the early chapters. You don't know what's going to happen.
That's just what people do.
And here's the thing. First of all, we'll see what happens with Mahomes because again, when Kelsey gets old, what's going to happen? They're not going to be able to keep Chris Jones next season because he's going to want too much money. So he might bounce, and that fucks their whole defense up.
They've already screwed up that team so different from when they won before. Look, man, the real question is what happens when Andy Reid is gone. Okay, that'll be the real question. What's going to happen?
Super Bowl.
What?
4th Super Bowl.
4th Super Bowl. Okay, 4.
2. They lost 1 to us, and this will be their next one.
And we embarrassed. No, not lost. Loss is an understatement. They got that ass beat. They got the clapped. And that's another. But no, seriously, that does show.
Wasn't somebody just talking about being humble?
No, that's not humble. That's
somebody just talking about being humble.
You talk when the game is over. You talk when the game is over. That game is.
You talk when the confetti's falling, Rick.
Exactly. You can talk when. I can say all my shit because look,
championship game. Not
against Brady.
You were literally just saying San Francisco. Oh my god,
Detroit. No. First of all, look at Detroit's resume. They can't even. They don't even have room to talk. Again, like I said, the last time they won, Boys in the Hood was out and Goodfellas. That's how long it was that they were somebody. Detroit can't. It's like, man, look, like I said, that's why with the fans, they got unreal. They got to the point where they were like, we're going to be a dynasty in the making. What the hell? First of all, a dynasty means you have won shit. That's all I'm saying. But on that note, guys, I'm gonna get out of here on that. Thank you, guys.
AFC Championship game, so let's give him that. I don't think he's not been to an AFC Championship game in 6 years.
Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
I just at this point, I'm just so tired of people slurping on Mahomes. Get off Kermit's tip. I just like, and the simple fact that Taylor Swift is there. I just need George Kittle and Brock Purdy to just beat them, please. Beat them, because if Mahomes loses again, that's gonna put a damper on the legacy some more. And I'm all for it now, because now he's turned into a whiny heifer, and that's getting on my nerves. All right, guys, he hit me. And I cannot stand Travis Kelce. He is just, again, a great big slot receiver, like Slick said. George Kittle's the best tight end in football.
Yeah, those quarterbacks who don't want to get hit, they all suck, don't they?
No, but crying like he do. I'm right here, and it's like he's just.
You don't think Brady was doing that?
Oh, Brady cried. But the thing was, the more we didn't realize we did not like Brady because of Belichick. I realized, Brady actually is cool. Belichick was the villain.
You sure they don't want Gruden? I'm just having fun messing with you.
No, I'm just saying I can't, because Mahomes at this point, I hate when any players start to expect calls. I hate that shit. I hate it when Brady do it. It's like, Brady, shut up and play. But typically when Mahomes, I'm not even going to go there. I'll just say this. Certain things goes in the Chiefs' favor. It's not a coincidence that Donovan Smith, when he was with the Bucs, he was the most penalized left tackle. That motherfucker gets to the Chiefs. Now all of a sudden, he's so-called improved, but we've seen plenty of replays where he literally holds, or he drops it like it hot and backs it up.
Wait, if it's them giving breaks to these guys because they're on this team that's great, why was he still getting penalties on the Bucs during their Super Bowl year? Obviously, if the Bucs were the chosen team, they wouldn't have been throwing flags on it.
Who said we were chosen, though? To be quite honest, the Bucs 2020 season went through one of the most challenging phases. It was because, look, we had to go. New Orleans was picked to be better than the Bucs that year.
Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Rob Gronkowski.
Okay.
AB.
Who
said we were chosen?
No, we weren't chosen. They were saying, a lot of people said that it wasn't going to work because they thought that it was going to be too much ego, or they didn't think we were going to be.
We're supposed to have finished about half an hour ago.
I know, I'm literally just messing with him at this point.
No, because at this point, I like, that was different. The narrative changed because it went from, even when we were in the Super Bowl, what did they say? Oh, Mahomes is going to just find a way. I hate when people just say, find a fucking way. That makes no sense. And if that's the case, then I'm going to find my way on the NFL team. And then
that's it. Find a way.
I'm going to find a way. Yes, I'm going to find a way. I will find a way. What's up?
Isn't that how Brady won?
He found a way. Not winding him up, Rick. I need to go to bed.
Exactly. I'm gonna go. Y'all take care.
I'm just having fun. Good night.
Good night. God bless y'all. Take care.
You.
Gruden.
Cheers, brother.
Go Gruden.
Okay, guys, that's the end of the show. Much appreciated, and we'll see you all after the Super Bowl. We'll talk a little bit more post Super Bowl stuff. Maybe we'll have a show before the Super Bowl. I doubt it, but we'll see what happens. By all means, keep following us, keep loving us, keep commenting, and we appreciate it. And if you guys ever want to come in and say your stuff, you're more than welcome to. But on that note, Bucks on me, Bucks on free. 1, 2, 3, go Bucks.